Welcome to this video on Peer-Assisted Supervision and Support, or PASS. The PASS model of supervision helps practitioners learn to successfully implement Triple P and to continually improve their practice. It involves three key activities. The first is a case review where you as practitioners discuss actual cases using pre-recorded video, audio or written case notes to review a Triple P session. The second activity is a discussion of implementation issues that may either be helping or hindering your use of Triple P. And finally, a professional development activity to promote your skill as a practitioner. The PASS model works best when practitioners meet in small groups to review their experiences. The goal is to review your Triple P sessions and to receive helpful feedback from your peers so that any problems are identified and you develop a plan to rectify them. Each session lasts about 1.5 to 2 hours and involves participants serving in different roles in rotation: a peer facilitator, a peer mentor, and a practitioner. The role of facilitator is switched with each new PASS session. Other practitioners will share two roles, the peer mentor and the practitioner. Participants may play both of these roles during a PASS session. During this presentation, we'll demonstrate in detail what these roles entail.
Okay, so why don't we just take 5 minutes or so to hear about your experience in that session?
The peer facilitator makes sure the session runs smoothly by ensuring there is an agenda and that you stick to it. In the peer mentor role, you help your colleagues learn by listening to their experiences, providing helpful comments, being supportive and encouraging. In time, it'll involve providing feedback that is a little more critical.
So that was really good, the way you supported the mother. What else did you do well?
Well, I was really happy with the way I listened.
In the practitioner role, you share your own experience of delivering Triple P through self-evaluation, and your colleagues will learn from your own experience. If you can, bring along a video or an audio recording, 5 to 10 minutes of an interaction between you and your clients, preferably a section where things went well and another section that didn't go quite so well. Remember, you need the parents' written consent for this. If there are only 2 people present, one person can take on both the facilitator and the mentor role.
Okay, well, I'd like to talk about my clients, Ronan and Sarah, and they have a 4-year-old boy named Jacob. Now, Sarah has said that she has difficulty with Jacob around disobedience. He's argumentative and also he's headstrong. She also said at preschool he has hit other children a few times. So I've been working with Sarah. Ronan hasn't come along to any of the sessions yet. So Sarah has been participating quite well in the program. The segment of footage I'd like to show today is the beginning of session 4 with Sarah. And the reason why I chose this bit of footage is because she's had a really tough week because Ronan hasn't been helping, and so she's venting her frustration, and you get to see me dealing with this criticism. So we'll have a look at the footage now. Well, welcome to session 4, Sarah. We're going to look at managing misbehaviour strategies today, but let's have a look at the homework first. How did you go with encouraging desirable behaviour strategies at home?
Well, I found it really hard. I feel like I'm doing it on my own. My husband's not getting very involved, and I don't think it's going very well.
This is an issue, isn't it? And I've told you that you need to work together as a team.
Yeah, it's easy to say, but I can't do it by myself. I'm trying to do one thing, I'm being positive and consistent, and I feel like Ronan's undermining me.
No, you are trying, but you feel like he's not supporting you at home?
No, I don't. And I am trying.
And I'm getting a sense that you're getting frustrated, perhaps, with how things are going at home?
Yes, I am. Look, I don't know what more I can do. I can't do it by myself.
If you're trying as hard as you are and you feel as if that support isn't there, it can be frustrating.
Look, I really need Jacob's behaviour to improve.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. And that's what we will be looking at today. We're going to look at managing misbehaviour strategies. So let's see what we can do with Jacob for these managing misbehaviour strategies. Now, let's have a look at session 4 and see what we can do.
Okay.
Overall, I think the session went well. Things didn't start off great, but I thought I handled the comments about her husband quite well. We then got into the session and covered all of the strategies around managing misbehaviour. But I'd really like to know what you think. How did you think I went with the session?
Okay. Well, yeah, I think overall it looks like you did a really good job with the session. As you said, you've covered all the content well. Looks like she really calmed down after a while during the session. So
During peer supervision, it's important to be clear about your goals and what you are trying to achieve with the parents.
In particular, I want to fine-tune my consultation skills and dealing, with the clients empathically, and also dealing with process issues as they arise.
okay, well, why don't you tell us a bit more about your session?
Yeah, well, I just asked her how she went with her homework, and she started complaining about how her husband really wasn't helping her out at home. And we sort of spent a bit of time discussing how that was for her, and how frustrating it was for her to feel all alone with trying to do the strategies. I was using a lot of empathy and listening to try to make her feel heard. I was really happy with the way I listened and empathised with how things were going for her and her situation. I mean, it is difficult when you feel unsupported at home. She seemed really to respond well to that, and I think that calmed her down.
Is there anything there that you would have done differently?
Yes, I think the way I started off with my phrasing wasn't particularly great. I think she didn't respond very well to that, so I think I would have liked to have started off responding a bit differently.
Yeah, she did seem to react, not very well to that from what we saw in the video. So I think that's great that you've recognised that. I guess, how do you think you could have handled that better?
Yeah, I would have rephrased it, and I think I would have gone with something like, yes, you're right, it is important to work together as a team, and it is difficult when it feels like you're just alone by yourself.
Okay, yep. And that sounds really great. And the way you said that to me just then, that came across really nicely. So I think she would have responded in a bit more of a calm way to that.
Yep.
I guess I'm wondering what would have happened if you might have clarified a bit more with her about what she had tried already to get her partner more involved.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually. She probably could have mentioned she probably would have made some efforts on what she's done already at home.
And I think then, if you did sort of find out that from her, you would have been able to have validated those attempts that she has already made.
Yep.
And, I guess, what would you have done after finding out about that?
Maybe brainstorm them a little bit more to try to come up with some really good ideas that she thinks could work to help involve her husband more.
Yeah, I think that would have been great. So I guess in that way, you were already sort of supporting her in terms of her emotional needs in the session, and then you would have also have been problem solving.
Yeah.
So I think that is a really great idea.
Well, overall, I think in the end this section went really well. I can see my consultation skills are improving, and I just would like to say thank you very much for the feedback you've given me, because I do feel that if this process issue were to come up again, I would do better at trying to manage the situation and empathise, as well as look at the problem-solving side of things as well.
What's the key message that you're going to take away from this PASS exercise?
Just being able to manage the process issues by making sure I empathise with the client, but also at the same time work on that problem-solving side of things as well, and make sure I remember to do both.
Peer-to-peer mentoring is a structured feedback process to promote learning of a complex set of skills. The power of supportive peer influence assists practitioners in implementing Triple P effectively. It involves peers sharing their knowledge, observations and experience. It's a reciprocal process. You assist others, they assist you. It is especially useful for less experienced practitioners, but is also useful for those of the same level of experience. Ideally, you should develop personal, mutual relationships built on trust and respect, and fundamentally focused on learning how to implement evidence-based practice.
So when you say you responded to her emotional needs, what do you mean by that? What did you say or do?
Yeah, first I stopped.
Remember to start with the positives. Discuss what they did well first.
Well, the fact that you recognised when she was getting frustrated and then you stopped and you listened to what was important to her, I think that was really quite important. If you hadn't done that and you just moved straight on to the strategies for the session, I think you might have lost her.
Oh, thanks for that.
It's important that, as well as addressing the emotions that came up during the session, that you help her to fix the problems as well. What things do you think she could have done to get her partner more involved, and how do you think you could have helped her come up with these during the session?
Well, there are lots of things. She could tell her husband how important it is for her. She could invite him along to our sessions. I guess we could have brainstormed a lot more what strategies would work for her.
I've definitely had similar situations during my sessions, you know, and it can be really quite difficult to empathise without seeming that you're blaming the other partner. How about we have a look to see if the manual says something about this?
Yeah, the manual does have something in there about this.
It may be helpful to suggest a role play to practice how to deal with the specific situation.
Well, how about we have a practice of that now? And if you just remember to highlight how you would take her through that problem-solving process. I could be the mother in the role play if you like.
Okay, that sounds great. Let's go. Do you want to just do it here?
Let's do it.
Although using a video or audio recording is best for past sessions, if this is simply not possible, use detailed case notes instead. The key is to recreate almost verbatim exactly what happened. Provide enough information about the case so that your colleagues understand the consultation situation and the details of what they would have seen and heard if they were there.
Okay, so during session 1, after I talked about the principles of positive parenting and why children behave the way they do, I was setting up the exercise on goals. So I said to the group, can you turn to exercise 7 in your workbooks and then turn to the person next to you and discuss with them what goals you might like to set up for yourself and also for your child. I'll give you 3 minutes and then we'll come back together as a large group and we can share our ideas. So they went ahead and did this, and after the exercise, I said, who would like to share their goals? They did, but they all had really vague goals. So an example of a goal was stop all the tantrums. So then I spent a bit of time shaping up their goals with them. So an example of what I said was, do you think it's realistic for a 2-year-old to stop all tantrums? The parents responded really well, but I'd really like to hear what you guys think about how I could have prevented this in the first place.
The peer facilitator's job is making sure the session runs smoothly and effectively and doesn't veer off track. Have an agenda ready, establish it from the outset and try to keep to it throughout.
Okay everyone, so today's past session will go for about 2 hours, so if we stick to the agenda we should have plenty of time to get through all of our cases. Did everyone remember to bring the case notes and your video footage? Excellent, so we're ready to go. Before we start though, let's just try and remember that for today's session we would like to use our self-regulatory skills, and we just want to try and create a very positive learning experience here for everyone. Okay James, you and Roxy are in the role of the practitioners today. Would you like to make a start and tell us about your case just using the checklist as a guide? We have about 10 minutes to review your video and discuss your case. So let's make a start and watch the section of the video that you'd like to discuss. This is really interesting, but I think we're getting a little bit off track here. So why don't we just try and refocus on the initial start to the session and what you did well there.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so this was about 10 minutes, so why don't we move on to the next topic now. Roxy, if you want to present your case now.
All right, so the start of my case.
Now we need to work out our agenda for next week. Is this time still okay for everyone? Excellent. We should also swap roles. Cassie, how about you and I be practitioners for next week? And we'll bring in some case footage and some notes. And then James, would you mind taking over the facilitator role next week? Fantastic. I'll see you all next week then.
Regular past sessions enable each practitioner to take responsibility for their own professional learning. The objective is to identify your strengths and to educate your peers so they can offer their insights and to assist you to work out what you need to do differently in the future. Past sessions can make a big difference to increasing your confidence and expertise in delivering Triple P successfully.